All right, guys, today we're going to learn how to divide fractions using the algorithm. We're going to start by watching a short video. It's really catchy, so it really helps with memorizing the process of dividing fractions. It's always helped my students in the past. They come back and they say, oh, Miss Lakin, I always remember that video that we watched. So I'm going to start by playing that video. There's nothing to write down. Just pay attention while it's playing.
Yeah, you know how this go. Keep, change, flip. Simple, right? Divided fractions. Vocabulary. Let's go. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Dividing fractions is easy. That's no lie. You just flip one, yep, then you multiply. Don't flip both, because that'll be strange. You need to keep one exactly the same. Yeah. Then the sign gets changed, division to multiplication, that's okay. Then flip the second fraction like you're on a grill. We multiply what's left, that's really real. Take 3/5 divided by 2/3. Keep, change, flip. That's the word. Keep 3/5 the same, change the sign so we multiply, that's the game. Flip 2/3, we get 3/2, then we can multiply, and so should you. 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 5 is 10, 9/10 can't reduce it, that's the end. Why do we flip it? I'll explain the math. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by half. 20 students in your class divided by 2 would be 10 students. Or we can do 20 students in your class times half is 10. You'll see, you get the same thing at the end. Dividing is multiplying by the reciprocal. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the simple rule. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions.
All right, so that's just like a little catchy phrase, keep, change, flip, that we'll use when we're dividing fractions to remember how to do it. So when we're dividing fractions, we multiply, by the reciprocal. The reciprocal is a fraction when it gets inverted or turned upside down. So 3/4, the numerator is 3, the denominator is 4. We flip that so that the numerator is 4 and the denominator is 3. Reciprocals, when they're multiplied, equal 1, because 3 times 4 would be 12, 4 times 3 would be 12, and 12/12 is equal to 1. So that's basically what a reciprocal is. So I want you to find the reciprocal of 5/9 on your own. Write it down on your paper. Since 5 is our numerator, that becomes our denominator. 9 is our denominator, that becomes our numerator. It becomes 9/5. Okay, so to remember this process, we use that phrase, keep, change, flip. Okay, and what this means keep the first number. Okay, so the first fraction you keep exactly the same. Then you change the sign to multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction to its reciprocal. Okay, so that's what keep, change, flip means. So we keep that first number, change it to multiplication, flip it to the second fraction to its reciprocal. Let's do some examples. In number 1, we first have to have 2 fractions, so we have to make 6 into a fraction. We make 6 into a fraction by putting a 1 under it. Then we are going to rewrite the problem, keep, change, and flip. So we keep the first fraction the same. We keep it as 3/9. We change the division to multiplication. Remember, do not use an X. We use a star or a dot or parentheses to show multiplication. And then we flip 6 over 1 to its reciprocal. So 6 is our numerator, so it becomes our denominator. 1 is our denominator, so it becomes our numerator. At that point, we just multiply across. So 3 times 1 is 3. 9 times 6 is 54. Okay, I would like you to pause the video, try this one on your own, and then resume the video to check your answer. If we're listening and following along now, we should already have the answer to this problem and we're just following along to check. 4 becomes 4 over 1. We keep the first fraction the same. Change division to multiplication. Flip 2/3 to 3 over 2. Multiply across, we get 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 can go into 12 6 whole times. There's nothing left over. So 6 is our final answer. Back in the previous problem, both these numbers could be divided by 3. This is a tricky one to be able to see that it can be simplified. It would be 1 over 18 is the simplified version. On your quizzes and tests, we're going to let you put in that unsimplified version for full points. However, on big ideas assignments, you need to be able to simplify. So if you know you're getting the correct answer on an assignment, but it keeps telling you it's wrong, chances are you can simplify it. Okay. Let's do number 3. Again, you can pause the video if you want to try it on your own and then just resume the video to check, or you can follow along with me if we're still not quite getting the hang of it. We keep that first fraction the same, 3/4, change division to multiplication, flip that second fraction 1/2 to 2 over 1. On the top, we have 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 1, 4. 4 can go into 6 one whole time. 4 times 1 is 4, so to make this one, we're taking away 4 of those 6. We're left with 2/4. 2 and 4 can both be divided by 2 to simplify. This becomes 1 and 1/2 is the simplified version. Again, we will accept 6/4 on quizzes and tests, however, Big Ideas does not. I'm just going to erase this to give me some more room. Don't erase it on your page unless you need more room as well. All right, when we are multiplying and dividing fractions, we always have to have fractions. Okay, so this is a mixed number. This is not a fraction. It has a fraction in it, but it's a mixed number because it also has a whole number. So we need to convert this into an improper fraction. All right, if you know how to do that, pause this example and try this example on your own, and then you can just resume to check. If not, follow along with me. We take our whole number, multiply it by our denominator. So we have 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And then we add in that numerator, which is 2. So we have 6 plus 2 is 8. That's our new numerator. Denominator stays the same. I'm just going to rewrite the whole problem first without keep, change, flip so that I don't get confused. Now I'm going to do the second step of keep, change, flip. So 8/3 stays the same. Division changes to multiplication. 5 6 become 6/5. 8 times 6 is 48. 3 times 5 is 15. Now you're going to ask yourselves, how many times can 15 go into 45? So it would be 15, then 30, then 45. You can always count by 15s or count by that number to help you out. So I see 45 is the closest we can get. So that's 3 times. So we have 3 wholes. Sorry, if this is off your page, you can always just write it down here. So we have 3 wholes. 15 can go into 48 1, 2, 3 times. So we take away 45 of those 48 in order to make that 3. And we are left with 3/15, since 48 minus 45 is 3. Now 3 and 15 can both be divided by 3. So this could be simplified to 3. I'm going to do this in another color so it stands out. 3 and 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 3 and 1/5. All right. Let's do some more examples, more mixed numbers. At any time, guys, if you are feeling comfortable with this, pause the video, try these on your own, and just use the video to check. First, let's fill in that phrase. Since it's on the other page, we don't want to keep flipping back and forth. It's nice to just have it at the top of our page to refer to it. So we're keep, change, flip. Again, we have a bunch of mixed numbers here, so we need to make them improper. We take 2 times 4, which is 8. Add in that numerator, 9, 10, 11. We get 11 is our new numerator, 4 is our denominator. 1 times 2 is 2, plus the numerator is 3. Denominator stays the same as 2. First step is just to rewrite that division problem. Then we keep change flip into multiplication. So we keep 11 fourths the same, change division to multiplication, flip 3 over 2 to 2 over 3. We multiply across. We get 22 over 12. How many times can 12 go into 22? Well, that's one whole time, because 2 times would be 24. That's too much. So 22 minus 12, if we're not sure, we could just take it to the side. We get 10, so 1 and 10 twelfths. We're going to notice both those numbers are even, meaning it can be divided by 2. This is going to become 1 and 5 sixths as a simplified answer. Number 6, we have 3 times our denominator 3. 3 times 3 is 9, plus our numerator, which is 2, so 9, 10, 11 thirds. We are dividing. 1 times 6 is 6, plus our 5 is 11 as well. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, just double checking that that's right. Our denominator stays the same. Now we're going to rewrite this as multiplication. So we have 11 thirds times, so keep change, flip to 6 over 11. We're going to get 66 over 33. We ask ourselves how many times 33 can go into 66 in order to simplify it. Or you can ask yourself, what is 66 divided by 33? Because remember that fraction bar is division. And that's going to give us 2 whole times, nothing left over. Now, if you followed along with me up here, I want you to pause the video and try this one on your own if you haven't already. Okay, if you have already, pause the video, do this one on your own, and then just resume the video to check. Here we have 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. Denominator stays the same. We're just copying down the division problem at this point. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Denominator stays the same, 5 over 3. Now we keep change flip. 13 over 5 times, flip it, 3 over 5. Now 13 times 3, that's not something I might know at the top of my head. You can always pull it to the side and do the math. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3, so that's going to give us 39. 5 times 5, 25. We ask ourselves, how many times can 25 go into 39? Well, that's going to be once, because 2 times would be 50. That's too much. So we have one whole number. In order to make this one, we're taking away 25 of those 39. So we have to subtract 25 to see what's left. Again, if that's not mental math for you, you can always pull it to the side. We'll get 14 25ths. 14 can only be divided by 2 and 7. So we check with 25. 25 can't be divided by 2 evenly, and it can't be divided by 7. So that is going to be our simplified answer. All right, take a minute, write a little summary about what you learned about how to divide fractions. You could include the phrase keep, change, flip, and then talk about what that means. What do you keep? What do you change? What do you flip?